I don't know if it started, but according to my computer, it hasn't. Okay, forget about it. It's not working. Oh, now it says I'm live. Okay, let's go for it. Huh, second try. Okay, this is Dr. Casey back answering some more questions about fasting. So, one of the questions that I have gotten is, how do I prepare for this? How do I integrate this into my life? And so I want to tell you a little bit about how I got into doing this and to fasting in your everyday life. Years ago, actually, it was the late 70s, I think, I was consulting for and working for some fasting institutions where people would go in and stay for a weekend, a week. And in one case, the place I was working with, um, people stayed anywhere from a week to, I saw a guy there fasting for 6 months. He was really big, he needed it. But okay, anyway, so I got really familiar with what happens on a fast. Now, this particular place was water fasting. And if you do a water fast, you have to stay in bed. So we'll get more to that later. But I made rounds twice a day on 55 people. So I got to know what happens on day one, what happens on day three, on day five, on day seven. I got to really see, because it's pretty consistent what happens when you do that. So when I was doing fasting in my private practice in New York City, even though I wanted to do a fasting retreat, I realized that I have to modify this for my outpatients. You know, in New York City, people are not slouchers. I mean, most of them have two jobs. None of them are going to go to bed for a week or three. You know, they've got really active lives. And so I had to look at, how can I create a fast that works, that gets the same results as a really good detoxing water fast in their everyday life. So with my experience, I began to see where you can get the same results and yet live your everyday life. I actually, when I was in LA, I had a patient or a client who was running her first 26-mile marathon. She started training when she was on the fast, and I think in the middle of the marathon, she had been fasting maybe for weeks. I had a client in New York City who was a dancer on Broadway, did 8 shows a week, and she also did that in the middle of a pretty lengthy fast. So even though it's like, oh my God, without food, I'm going to be so weak. One of the things I love about fasting is that you get to look at your limiting beliefs, one of which is that food gives you energy. Now, to a certain degree, in the long run, certainly carbohydrates you can burn for fuel and it feels like energy. But in all my experience with fasting, I see people, the longer they fast, get more and more energy. So in terms of how do you prepare, I see a lot of people talking about, well, you should prepare for a fast, you should, start eating, just vegetarian, and then uh, maybe uncooked food, do some salads for a while and build up to it. There's no building up. It's cold turkey works as well as anything. Just stop eating. Now, I do juice fast, so I'm not suggesting you do a water fast, at least a long one, a day or two, okay. So you don't need to prepare. The only preparation is in your mind. You need to make a commitment to doing, because let me tell you, day one is not easy. I mean, I fast a fair amount of the time, but day one is always hard for me. oh, I'm not eating. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, poor me. So be prepared that you need the commitment. The other thing I ask you to do, if you're going to consider it, is don't do any kind of healing if it's not based on self-love. So if you want to go into it to suffer, I've fired patients because, oh, poor me, I'm suffering, I'm deprived. Sorry, if you can't make it fun, don't do it. Do it because you love yourself, because there's a reason to do it, whether you're trying to heal an illness, or whether you want to lose weight, or whether you want more energy, or whether you want to learn more about living in the moment, whatever it is, know that there is a reason for why you're doing it. So you can do it with self-love and not into this whole poor me thing. It's one of the reasons I don't like intermittent fasting, because even if you do it for the rest of your life, it's still a short-term, in a certain degree, deprivation, or a short-term thing that you do where you're not working on changing who you are or why you eat. Because doing a long fast can help you actually change your relationship to your body, to your mind, to your emotions, and to food. So I do long fasts. Now, a long fast for a few people might be 3 days, although if you want to do it for any kind of healing, I think you need to do 2 weeks. But anyway, I got sidetracked. This is how you prepare for it. You don't prepare. What I want you to realize is that, yes, day one is hard. The trick is my trick is you do unlimited quantities of juice. I don't care if you have 4 gallons. If you're hungry or tired or bored or scared or deprived, just keep drinking. Anything you can do to get through day one. Because I promise you, by day 3, you will notice that your energy has gotten better. And by day 6, 10, 14, 100, your energy is just going to get better and better. I remember when I was in New York, I remember that there was what was it, a blackout or a subway strike or some such thing. I knew I was going to have to drive to Queens every day to do like a second job. And whenever I was stressed, I thought, time to do a fast, because it simplifies your life and you have more energy. So I don't know if I've answered those questions, but I don't like long videos. So I'm going to end for today, and I promise you that there will be more. If you have any more questions, please feel free to DM me on Facebook. If you want to have a conversation about doing a fast with me, you can do a DM. If you have any more questions, you can post them on this video or you can DM me. I'm happy to keep answering your questions and support you to use what I think is the most perfect and simple and easy and loving form of self-healing. For now, it's good talking with you. See you soon.